Patch day is here, guys. Finally we can have Fox 3 missiles. Let's take a look on some of the changes and some of the stuff added and kind of a recap on the new patch. Okay, hello guys, once again, it's Matt. Thank you all the members and patrons. Make sure to subscribe. And yeah guys, look at this. This is the most American thing ever to exist on Earth. More than anything. Like, oh my god, this is even too American. This is kind of weird even. But yeah guys, F15A MSIP2 is here, obviously with the new skins, as you see. Very cool. It is only using the MAWS, okay? I will be doing videos covering every single aircraft and stuff, so don't you worry. Another aircraft that obviously was added, oh, why are we in China? What? Was the AV8B Plus. Very cool skin as well. It's much better from what it was in the dev, much more clear. MAWS, let's take a look on the skins. I'm pretty sure this thing has some form of skin. It's probably right here somewhere. Hold up, guys. There you go. Found it. I didn't get the vehicles yet, so this is the way that I have to do it. So a darker skin. I think it looks cool. Jesus, it really does look cool. Remember, this uses an APG-65, so the F-18 radar, pretty much the same as the other aircraft. Here is where they are. For the Germans, we have obviously the F4F ICE, the same as it was in the dev. Nothing crazy to talk about it here. Let's just check, of course, the skins that this thing probably has, because why not, right? This is the skin I think he has. I think he has only one. Let me check. Yeah, only two actually, right? But yeah, this is a very cool skin. Look at this. It really does look cool, doesn't it? For the Soviets, we have obviously the Su-27SM, the evolution of the original Su-27 using the R-77. As you see, all of them got the separated flares and countermeasures button, so I'm gonna talk about it at the end of the video. Let me just go through the skins because I just love them so much. Oh my god, there's so many skins over here, guys. So many skins. And then you have to wait for them to download it, which is pretty funny. Kind of a more normal skin, you know. These are more normal skins than this. I mean, all of them are kind of the same as the older ones, actually. Yeah, this is basically literally the same, right? So, very cool, but no matter what, it is the same Su-27 that we had there. For the British, we have a normal, good old Tornado, but with, of course, the M120B and AIM-9Ms. So, very cool. And then, of course, we have the Sea Harrier FHU as well, which has a very cool skin, M120Bs and AIM-9Ms as well. Let's take a look on the skins. The only problem with this is that I need to keep finding them. So it might take a while. This is probably the black one for the Tornado F3, which is pretty amazing. Look at this. This is cool. It really is cool, man. Only one, but still very cool. And for the Sea Harrier, let me find if we have any. Yeah, we do. So this is the first one. Kind of the same, but with the red things there. And then we have this one, which is an all blue one, or purple. No matter what, it's pretty cool. The radar is pretty good. It's the Blue Vixen, 100 kilometers of range. Very good radar. Of course, an F15 camouflage, obviously. I mean, Japanese, you do you. Not gonna mess with you guys, but yeah, I don't like it too much. J11s, I don't think you got any. But yeah, we got the new J11 here in the Chinese tech tree. It is pretty much the same as the older one with the addition of the R77. So yeah, expect that. Even the radar is like literally the same. So it's just an upgrade to actually carry the R77. Okay, guys? Of course, for the Italian, nothing was really added that it's new, but of course, we got the M120s in some of the aircraft that fly over here. For example, the Vegan, the AV8B Plus, So yeah, which is pretty cool. Of course, for the French, we have all the new stuff from the MAWS Tech 3, as you see, that we already tested in the dev. Of course, the F15A having a MAWS system, as you see, M120s as well, and all sorts of stuff. This is going to be a very cool aircraft. Some other things that were introduced: a MAWS system for the Mirage 2000-5, guys. Yes, and I think, let me check. Yeah, even the CS5 got one. Let's see the CS4. No, the CS4 doesn't have one. But yeah, all the Mirage 2000s from the Tech 3, from the main Tech 3, get a MAWS system, a missile warning approach system. Okay, a missile approach warning system, whatever you wanna call it. The Gripen for the Swedish, and of course the F15 for the Israelis. Let me just check if there is any other camouflage over here, but I don't think there is one. There is one for the new Gripen for the Swedish, you know, so very, very cool. RB99s and stuff, very cool aircraft. And of course, I mean, there is many skins for the like Belgian and Dutch aircraft. I'm not gonna show every single one of them. I'm probably gonna do a video about these Tech 3 anyway, but yeah, there are some cool skins over here. I'm not gonna talk too much about tanks, but obviously there are some tanks that were added. Remember the Leopard 2A7 for Hungary over here. We have the XM800 there for the US. We have the new premium Canadian 2A4M, which looks much better than the original modules. If you get the camouflage net, of course it will be camouflaged, but yeah, the models are way better. But the armor is still pretty much the same, okay? So don't expect this thing to actually take any punches like a 2A7 would. So yeah. There were some updates to helicopter cockpits and other little things like that. There are some interesting changes, for example, for the flares and chaff that we already talked about, and now you can choose a number over here, and then you're gonna have a choice of just firing flares or chaff. And I want to show some other things in the F15 here that are very, very interesting. So now, for example, you can actually choose between flares and chaff. So I'm gonna use the switch countermeasure type, you know, button, which is basically this one. You can have some other types of buttons, so switch countermeasures, but you can have one for flare, for example, and one for chaff, for example, if you want to, right? But I prefer to have an option of the same button, but just changing. So, for example, I can click right here. And you see right there in the left top spot there, it's the flare chosen. It appears as flares release. And then if you click, it's just firing flares. If I click again and go to the chaff mode, it's going to fire only chaff. And if I go to the flare and chaff, it will fire both. So you can choose and be a little bit more efficient with the way that you use flares and chaff. Another thing that is pretty interesting with the radar of the F15, the F15A, the F15 BUFFED, and the F15J, the older F15s, got a new mode. So instead, they don't have TWS. They never had TWS, but they introduced a new version of the APG63, which has the PSP, right? And this version, you can actually, I mean, you have the normal modes, as you see right there, search pull stopper HDN, and stuff, normal modes. But once you lock a target, you can actually go to the PD RAM, which is basically a TWS after you locked, right? So it is the rate assessment tracking mode, and it can actually maintain a TWS kind of lock to the target. Obviously, you cannot use it to guide semi-active radar homing missiles, but if I'm not mistaken, some other types of missiles you can, right? Of course, these aircraft don't have this type of thing. You know, they don't have M120s and stuff, but still. And then, of course, it's locked, so you can just change the mode over here, and it will remain as a lock, right? So it's an interesting way of trying to, like, look elsewhere and not get a full lock while you are actually tracking somebody. It's not that different, but it does help a little bit, okay? So it's pretty interesting. There were multiple changes to certain radars, you know. So for example, the MiG-23's radar got its automatic mode from MTI to normal modes. The Mirage F1 got that. So yeah, if you go here, You can check it out. I'm sorry if the video is too long, but I just wanted to cover most of the things. It is still appearing as an APG63, right? But it is this new radar, okay? So remember, I mean, yeah, even appears as TWS there, but yeah, the F15J, the F15 BUFFED, the normal one, and then the F15A, okay? I'm gonna check if DC has it, but probably not. Other cool changes, finally, Gaijin added countermeasures to the Q5L. Finally. I mean, like, why did you take so long to add that? But okay. Some other changes, for example, yes guys, finally they kind of fixed, not really, but they changed it, multipath, so it's now 60 meters, not 100. So if you're shooting at a low flying target, you can actually hit them if they're flying above 60 meters and not above 100. Multiple aircraft got new RWRs, new missiles. The example is here with the F-16C A120. Multiple ones got that. Multiple ones got countermeasures replaced. So, for example, the F4Fs, guys, which is pretty funny to see this, but they actually got large countermeasures now instead of the normal countermeasures, or kind of a mix between the two, which is pretty funny actually. If you go to the test flight, let's see how it is. Yeah, you have the large ones and the small ones. I mean, the large ones and the small ones, right? So, for example, if you think that the normal chef is enough, you can take, I don't know, 30 flares of the large part. I mean, you should probably say it here to help players. And then here you can take like a mixed one, for example, and then you choose between the two, right, to fire. So it is pretty interesting to see this, but yeah, makes sense. Apparently it is realistic. The Q5A, A5C, the vegans, some of the vegans, right, the Mirage 3s, F1s, all the F4s, they all got the larger countermeasures in some form. So yeah, very, very cool. New pilot models for some of the aircraft. So for example, the MiG-29 one. We gotta go to the test flight, obviously, but yeah, A10, F14, F15, F16, Yak-141, Su-27, J11, they all got new pilot models. So it looks very cool. You can check it out. I'm not gonna show every single one, but it does look very, very cool. The nerfs of the MiG-21, the Grip and Draken, Vegan, F8, Su-17s, MiG-23s, and some others, like the F4J and F4J UK, all got nerfed basically, right? So yeah, there's that. Minor UI changes, for example, to here, if you want to choose an aircraft to fly, you can drag it out. If you don't want this aircraft anymore, for example, you can just exclude it there. So it's a little thing that helps people actually understand a little bit more. There's some other things, not gonna mention every single thing. I will leave the actual change log in the description for you to check it out. But there are some other changes, like for example, the way that the maps work a little bit depending on air realistic and stuff. It's changed. So now, for example, you can go to game mode setting over here, and you can choose to participate in a 12 player match instead of 16. So if you want a smaller match, you can check it out. Of course, new AIs and other things like that. So it's always pretty cool. Changes to sounds and some other changes. So yeah, nothing too different from what we saw in the dev server, just fixes and other things. But it is pretty cool. This is just the first video, of course. This is to cover more of the stuff that was not in the dev or was not ready in the dev and stuff. I will be covering probably in the next video the Fox 3 missiles and testing them out in new maps and stuff. But yeah, I will be covering every single thing that I think it's important enough to cover. But yeah, guys, basically this is it. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, and I see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.